Hey, Ron.
Tyler?
Good to have you aboard.
Thank you. It's fun to be here.
What makes a good demolition machine?
Reliability. The ones that pay off are the ones that don't break down.
First of all, let's start with the Miami Gearheads. They're going with a hydraulic idea.
The Miami Gearheads are getting a very slow start here. While I think they have a good plan, hydraulics are unreliable. And I think that'll be their biggest problem, is avoiding a breakdown.
Let's talk about the Rocket Men. They're going with the traditional wrecking ball idea.
If the wrecking ball doesn't shake their platform, which is this old truck they managed to get, they'll be all right. Otherwise, every time the ball misses, the whole framework's going to do one of these, and we're going to find it'll take them too long to get ready to do the second hit.
Who do you put your money on, though, if you had to?
I'm going to put it right now on the Rocket Men, because I think the simplicity of design will keep them in that race the longest.
So simplicity could be the way to go.
It is in a lot of things.
The Rocket Men have had a change of plan. Instead of using a V8 engine for their wrecking ball, they're going for these weights instead.
We should have done this earlier in the day.
And things are about to go from good to great.
What did you guys find?
It's like a winch assembly from a tow truck.
Might just work. Might just work.
With expert Tim's seal of approval, the new winch is dragged into the Rocket Men's lair.
Teams, you have 6 hours remaining. 6-hour time call, teams.
Okay.
And that moves the track up and down.
With nearly half the day gone, the Gearheads are still coming up with new plans.
It's simple. We figure out the hydraulics here, make this whole thing work, and build like a monster, like wall knocker heel deal.
What is the machine going to be now?
This whole piece of the truck spins around like a turntable.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Wow. So how are you going to make that turn into something to knock a wall down?
We're going to use this here.
Right.
To push the wall down.
Well, so actually just lower that ram into the bottom of the wall?
Yeah, we're going to weld some I-beams, some heavy steel, 10 feet high.
So when that
it's
goes
going to be
down,
like a wall of steel
kind of
pushing, yes.
Into it. Oh, that's clever.
Then down here, we're going to have a piston that pushes the wall from the bottom.
So the final plan is to build hydraulic bashers and attach them to the stabilizers and turntable. These massive iron bars with teeth will knock the top of the wall to bits. To poke away at the bottom, the Gearheads will mount a cylinder underneath the turntable. But if the bashers are to have any bash at all, the hydraulics on their truck better be up to scratch.
And have you actually tested the rams that are on this machine?
No.
Okay, so that's next job. Well, it's looking good. I can't wait to see it when it's at its next stage.
Cool.
We can just cut these off and use those if you want. Those will work perfect.
Over in Mission Control, Houston has a problem. And Captain Mike is on red winch alert.
The problem is that this is a good winch for lifting up the weight, but we don't know how good it's going to be at releasing the weight. And so you've got this big weight that's pulled up. You want it to release as fast as possible. If the winch isn't capable of that, we're going to have to pick something else.
To get maximum power from their wrecking ball, the team must pull it back as far as possible. For that, the Rocket Men will need to use a motor-powered winch. And for real pulverizing power, that winch will have to release the ball quickly. Too slow and the wrecking ball will just pat the wall instead of smash it.
To be able to physically swing this weight, you know, 3 or 4 tries and you're going to be done, I'm afraid. So we got to have some sort of mechanical advantage to swing the weight.
With crisis looming, Jim dons his hunting helmet.
Hey!
And goes for the kill.
We hook this to the heavy weight with a quick release of some sort.
Expert Tim reckons the new winch will work, but Captain Mike isn't convinced.
Let's just do something else. This is taking way too long. We don't have the time.
We don't have anything else.
You're probably right. Darn it.
Without a motor to speed it up, the winch will be useless. Will this golf cart motor have the juice for the job?
Just touch it on there and see what happens.
In fact, will it give them any power at all?
We got absolutely nothing going on.
Rejected, the dead motor is cast aside. Despite their efforts, they're still without a winch and the pressure is mounting.
Uh-huh.
Let's get it so we can take a wall down.
Yes.
Let's get something so we can compete.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And things look grim for the Gearheads. Frank can't start the hydraulic motor. No motor, no hydraulics. No hydraulics, no basher.
Time is slipping away for our finalists. Will the multi-pronged attack of the Miami Gearheads ram them home to victory, or will the combined brains of NASA's finest mean the rocket men wreck their hopes? Stay glued.
Welcome back to the Junkyard Wars final, where decimation is the name of the game, as our two teams struggle to put together their demolition machines.
The Miami Gearheads have yet to start building, and with a dud hydraulic motor, they could be stuck for a while.
Without a winch for the wrecking ball machine, the rocket men are stuck on the launch pad. But expert Tim figures they can build their own motor-powered winch.
No, we've got a little wheel here that we can stick on, weld right onto this plate.
The Gearhead's hydraulic motor refuses to start, so Frank tries gentle persuasion.
Now I'm getting violent. Go ahead, try.
Success! Time to test those hydraulics.
Who was that guy?
Stunned by his close encounter, Jim braces himself for action.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Let's huddle for a second.
To dangle their ball, the team must build a sturdy structure.
So we need a frame that we can weld down in place to attach everything else to.
So it's back on the scrounge for some heavy metal.
Man, this stuff is mega heavy.
While Jim gathers big iron, Tom picks something his own size.
Piece number one is going to go like this. There'll be a second part that's set further back in the bed that attaches to the first part as extra stability. And we'll hang our chains off of it, and we'll put the wrecking ball right in the middle.
Building a wrecking ball frame will be no mean feat. To support the ball, it'll have to be made of heavy iron, and lifting this massive structure into place will be a tough job. To make sure that the ball doesn't smash into the truck, the frame must be built out over the back. The rocket men must make sure they position it precisely, because if it leans too far, they'll run the risk of toppling the whole machine and wrecking their chances.
So you're comfortable with all your calculations here at this point? Or?
We got a few more to go, but so far, so good.
I got to tell you, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this whole how they're going to knock the wall down.
Oh, well, you mean the best strategy for actually getting the wall to the ground?
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's various different ways. Say you're the wall.
Okay.
I mean, there's different ways you can do it. One way, which isn't good, is you just hit it in the middle.
Okay.
And you see that, I mean, you know, you're still standing, so that's no good. But another thing that they sometimes try is to hit the top of the wall first and get that down. And then that's gone and that's weak. And then go for the middle. And then finally, just to go for the bottom bit at the end.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, no, get up. No, get up, because what the rocket men want to do is sort of the opposite way round. So they'll weaken the bottom first, and then the rest goes down quite easily. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Pressing ahead, the frame begins to take shape.
Hee-haw! This isn't rocket science. You got it? You want me to help you?
I got it, I think.
Yep.
Each strut is so heavy that it takes the whole team to lift it into position.
Yep. Okay.
Wow, time sure flies when you're building a demolition machine, doesn't it? 4 hours, teams. This is your 4-hour time check.
We gotta get cracking.
We're doing super fine.
Forging ahead, the Miami mechanics are arming their truck with some mean wall bashers.
The Miami Gearheads have made a lot of progress, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
And it's just an amazing looking machine, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's a one of a kind.
Have you ever used anything like that in any of your demolition work?
No, but I guess we could have thought of it and given enough time. Or maybe given too little time.
And what about the rocket men? It looks like they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, the rocket men have gotten behind. They found that the winch that they wanted doesn't work.
How is that going to affect their performance?
Right now, I'd like to take my bet that I had on the rocket men off and put it over to the Miami Gearheads.
That was quick. I haven't even asked you the question yet. You're already flip-flopping.
I don't want to lose my money here. I want to get my money over here.
What I thought we could do, possibly.
Feeling strong, the rocket men decide to lift their frame into position.
Some guys can lift, other guys can pull, and we can get it up to a reasonable level.
You got plenty of rope.
You guys ready to lift it? Let's do it.
As ready as we'll ever be, I'm afraid.
Okay.
But even the combined muscles of NASA's bravest hadn't counted on something this heavy.
This is monstrous.
Had a hell of a conga line going here.
The team are running out of puff and they just can't get it up. Beaten by their own creation, they'll have to think of something else.
But for the Gearheads, it's all fun.
I love this tool. Okay, California style. We're going topless.
The first ever convertible demolition machine.
Right. Hopefully it won't rain.
How about this engine? How's that looking?
It's all right. It's
How's
pretty
it
shady.
really looking?
It's kind of shady.
Does shady mean going or not going? Or going a little bit, slightly erratically?
It's probably going a little bit.
And you've got a bit of work to do on the clutch. Tell me about what you're going to do
Well,
for
the
that.
clutch, there was no clutch in the truck, and so that's what Milton built here. He built like a whole lever system. Basically, it's going to be like a hand clutch.
The clutch is a mechanical switch connecting the engine to the drive shaft. When an engine is running, the flywheel spins all the time. So to stop a car without stopping the engine, the clutch disconnects the wheels from the motor. The clutch is normally controlled by hydraulic cylinders, but on this truck, they're stuck. So Captain Milton has bypassed them with a hand lever, which is a direct mechanical link from the clutch plates to the cab.
And brakes?
There is no brakes. We have the emergency brake.
You know we don't like that.
Yeah, we know that.
We get a little bit nervous about no brakes.
We are building a wrecking machine, not a working truck.
No need to panic, teams. There's still 2 hours. 2 hours? Whoa, panic! You've only got 2 hours left to build!
We should be done in about 10 minutes.
The Rocket Men have finally found a way to raise their frame.
Yeah!
With a little help from our forklift truck.
What are they doing?
Good enough, good enough. You see how this one's up and that one isn't?
But there's no time for chat.
Let's get the other ones and let's just tack them and move on to stuff that's more complicated.
Got it. The teams still have to strengthen their frame, attach the wrecking ball, and they haven't even started to build that winch.
The Gearheads go for a final hydraulic test. Disaster! They've sprung a leak. What a bad omen for race day.
It's not going anywhere, man.
Son of a...
No, you cannot do that. Children are watching the show.
Despite being habitués of hydraulics, the genial Gearheads blow a gasket.
Right? Hose here, and the other hose goes right here. That's it. We just move this hose here, and this one goes here. It reaches. You see what I mean? Look what I'm telling you, man.
It's suddenly all looking rather ugly, isn't it? Both sides.
Even for the Gearheads?
Well, the Gearheads were, until moments ago, supremely confident because the thwacker thing looks like it's working fine and the smacker's working well, but then they just tried the boomfer, and the boomfer is leaking. Things are growing over in Rocket Men Cab. If you have a structure hanging out at an angle like that, you need really substantial braces.
Yeah, and they don't have them.
When that's in action, and they've got not only that weight to support, but then the wrecking ball swinging out like that, I'm seeing the whole machine doing a bit of that.
The final countdown's begun, and the Rocket Men get started on their winch.
We got the motor turns. That provides the motive force for pulling up the...
Does it start?
Yes.
It's just a wheel hub welded to an old leaf blower motor, so why they've left it so late is anyone's guess.
Jim,
Yes.
do you feel any need...
Just a second. I feel the need to beat the crap out of something. What?
Do you feel any need to weld the braces anymore before we put the weight on it?
No.
All right.
Given the go-ahead by Jim, Captain Mike hangs the ball.
Is that better?
Yep.
He's much like...
So sitting here looking at the view of your machine, are you looking at a Junkyard Wars Championship winning device?
Could easily be. We have to hit the wall right, but if we hit the wall right, it ought to all fall down.
Well, the Rocket Men have some big problems. Their A-frame is really too far beyond the rear end of the truck, and when they swing the wrecking ball from the frame, it's going to cause the front end